Nice haircut, good.
I haven't taken any phone calls.
Mayor, are you all set? Call to order the Common Council meeting for May 15th, 2018 at 5:30 p.m. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Here.
Councilmember Heenan?
Here.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Here.
Councilmember at Large Vowash.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask that everyone remain standing today for a moment of silence for the passing of longtime Fourth Ward Councilman John Vowash. Thank you. Certification of the prior meetings.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, May 1st, 2018 was presented to the mayor on Friday, May 11, 2018. Pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof I have here to set my hand and seal of the city of Dunkirk, New York, this 15th day of May 2018.
I need a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes. So moved. Councilman Williams with the first, Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Vowash.
Aye. We have a special presentation today. We have some honorary individuals in the audience that will be acting as council people and mayors along with us side by side during this meeting. So what I am going to do is I am going to read off those names, and if those individuals can come forward, stand in front of your nameplate, but face the crowd. And once we have all 6 of you gathered, the mayor will swear you in as official council people or mayor for the day. And then after the swearing in ceremony, you can take your respective seat and join the meeting. Yes, Mayor.
I did have something I was going to read, if I could read that.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. This is the second year that we have worked with our middle school students and teachers in an effort to get our youth involved in the community and in things that matter to them. This year, we also included our 8th graders at NCCS. I've learned quite a bit from these young boys and girls. Let me assure you that they are worth listening to. This contest is one which allows me and my staff to work alongside the teachers to involve their 8th grade students with the city of Dunkirk. This is also a contest that is happening in municipalities across the state. It gives the student an opportunity to express their views and ideas that they feel are important to the continued growth and prosperity of Dunkirk. We have some extremely bright young people within our midst. This year's program was sponsored by Ginger Polke of Big Rick's One Stop and Bob and Tammy Benkoski and Bob Karen of G&E Tents. Some of the items that the participants chose to write about include such insightful suggestions such as, our city is kind of boring. We need to upgrade our police force. Let's improve our health care. Keep Brooks Hospital in Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a beautiful town and a great place to visit, but we need to fix the beaches. We need a rehab center in the city for the drug problems. Drugs are a huge problem. Being mayor is a difficult job. You have to make change without upsetting the whole balance of the city. Thank you for taking time to read my essay. If I were mayor, I would emphasize community service. Make Dunkirk more kid-friendly and involve them in the community. Dunkirk needs a mall, or at least better shopping opportunities so people wouldn't have to go to Erie or Buffalo. We need more restaurants in Dunkirk. We have decided to have co-mayors for the day, choosing one each from Dunkirk Middle School and NCCS. Our mayors for the day are Anastasia Cedeno from Dunkirk Middle School and Mark Patterson from NCCS. Each of these young people will accompany me for a day of being mayor in the city of Dunkirk and will receive a $75 award. Our second place winners are Caitlin Howard, representing Dunkirk Middle School, and Nathan Pokolsky of NCCS. These students will be sworn in as honorary council persons. These students will receive a $50 award. Our third place winners are Joe Gifford from Dunkirk Middle School and Fred Gullo from NCCS. These students will also be sworn in as honorary city council persons and will receive a $25 award. At this time, we can let the swearing-in begin, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, when you come forward, please assume the position that I spoke of earlier. Our two honorary co-mayors, Amistad Cedeno, please come forward. And Mark Patterson, please come forward.
Mark is going to be a few minutes late. Mark is late.
Mr. Chairman, Mark is a few minutes late.
Okay, not a problem. Amistad, please step forward. Right next to the mayor, please stand in front of your name tag and face the crowd. If I could have the four honorary council people step forward at this time as well. Caitlin Howard, Nathan Pokolsky, Joe Gifford, and Fred Gullo. Please stand in front of your name placards and face the crowd. At this moment in time, Mayor, the floor is yours to swear them into the office.
Okay, you can all raise your right hand. Okay, you're going to repeat after me. I state your name. Repeat after me. Say I. State your name. I state your name. Do hereby swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of mayor or council for the city of Dunkirk, New York, according to the best of my ability. Okay, congratulations.
For those of you who have been at council meetings before, you might notice that I veered from the agenda a little bit. Usually this would be included in section 5, communications from the mayor, but I wanted them to be on the firing range today for the privilege of the floor. When somebody stands up there and speaks, in case they have anything, then they can face the consequences like we do on a regular basis. So, moving right along, reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case the individual shall be limited to 3 minutes, and to any person representing a group who shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits, and the councilman at large may determine in his discretion whether the individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. Councilman at large will wish and shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste or slanderous or non-germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limit specified shall be strictly adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time had expired.
With that said, privilege of the floor is now open. If there is anybody in the audience who wishes to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address.
Anybody out there? Uncle Les. All right. Here you go. I won't be long, even though I could get 5 minutes, because I got 3 representatives in a room.
We're gonna hold you,
I won't do it today.
Ms. Pavlik, we're gonna hold you to 3 minutes today. We have quite an extensive meeting.
It's fine, Andy.
Thank you.
Okay. No, my first question
Can you please step up to the microphone, Valerie?
Okay, I am, I'm cool.
Thank you.
And you might be out of glasses. Okay. All right, that's fine. I was here 2 weeks ago begging the consul, begging our attorney to go get a hold of Albany. It was our last chance to get to hospital, okay? 8 months, I told you, went by. Nobody wants it. Did you get to go? Did you contact Albany?
I don't know who you spoke to directly, but comptroller's office is pretty big. You
It
gave me a
doesn't
name and you gave me
matter.
a phone number.
It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm not gonna read my whole thing because it's gonna take too much. But circumstances has happened in Albany, as we know. Okay, all we got left is Mr. Napoli and Rick Dixon. So they are going to take over. Now, this part of the way the council people and the mayor have the 2.5 million does not correspond with the governor and the incubator with Chuck Cornell. We beg and beg. It's supposed to include the hospital, it's supposed to include the fire hall, and it's supposed to include the courts and the police. Nothing. You are leaving them out. And isn't today the week, police week? What a nice surprise we'd have if you mentioned that this is in a $2.5 million, but you don't have it. You've got it simply going your own way. It ain't gonna work. And I'm going to pass out sheets. I'm not reading them, but please contact, I'm going to give it, and in other words, Rebecca and Mr. Randy Woodbury, if I remember right, said that they have combined the public works with the development last month. Did you say something? Somebody did. Well, anyway, it don't matter, but you're going to be the head ones to get a hold of the governor and all of the rest of them. So I will pass these out, and please, Mayor, please get a hold and do what the governor wants to do. The 2.5 million for the hospital, the fire hall right on Deer Street and Route 5, the court, the police station. It's on the harbor front. The money is there. And Rich Dixon is taking care of it, okay? All right, and thank you. Let me pass those out.
Okay, the while Valerie is passing those out, if there's anybody else that wishes to speak, we will continue privilege of the floor. Please step forward and state your name and address.
Okay, Tina, one for you, one for the clerk. Other one. And Miss Don, take these.
Mike, can you get out easier?
Michael, I don't know about you. Pass these each one and give one to the one that you will put the recording in the minutes. That should go in the minutes. And Rebecca, you pass this one. And Mr. Woodbury, and I'll give you one at the desk. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. Mr. Fisher, floor is yours.
Good evening.
Thank you.
I'm Jim Fisher with Revitalize Dunkirk, and I would just like to announce that our meeting this Thursday, May 17th at 6:30 p.m. at the Fredonia Incubator down here on Central Avenue at 214 Central Avenue at 6:30 p.m. And also, I'd like to announce our BYOCs, or Bring Your Own Chair Sunset Watches for the summer. We're going to have 4 of them Sunday, June 10th at Point Gratiot, and it looks like we're going to have another bonfire, 2nd year in a row, so that looks good. Sunday, July 15th at the Dunkirk Lighthouse, Sunday, August 19th at Wright Park, and Sunday, September 16th, we haven't determined where we're going to have it yet, but we're going to have a sunset watch somewhere. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
This goes to our revitalization. Everything is
Anybody else wishing to take advantage of privilege of the floor? Please step forward to the microphone and state your name and address. Last opportunity. Anybody else wishing to take advantage or privilege of the floor, please step forward and state your name and address. Privilege of the floor is now closed. Communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages.
I do have one announcement to make. I would like our Director of Planning and Development to make that announcement.
We'll be holding a public meeting on Thursday, May 24th at 6 p.m. at the high school cafeteria in regards to our conceptual design plans for the pier improvements project. So please everyone come out, give your input on the designs for the pier. We really want to get everyone's input, so please join us for that meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I do feel compelled to respond since the comments that were made here during privilege of the floor are not true. I would just like to make it clear to the public that the $2.5 million that the city of Dunkirk was fortunate to win comes with strings attached, it comes with a purpose, and it comes with a proposal that we put in stating that we would do the things that we plan on doing with those funds. And it has nothing to do with the hospital. So I just want to make it clear for the record and for the public to know and understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Honorary Mayor Amistad, do you have anything that you would like to share with us today? Pros or cons? No? We'll let her go this time. She'll have another chance later. That concludes communications from the mayor,
That your gentleman at the door.
including disapproval messages. Mark, come forward, please. Actually, if you'd like to step up front, we have to swear you in right from the beginning. So if you'd like to stand right in front of your name placard up there.
Do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of mayor
of the office of mayor
for the city of Dunkirk, New York,
for the city of Dunkirk, New York,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Just in time if he has any words, huh?
Number 6, communications from the public and petitions.
Request from Jose A. Rodriguez to use Cooks Field and Promencheco Stadium for a charity softball tournament in memory of Emmanuel Manny Escobar on Saturday, June 9th.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the first, Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Washington?
Aye.
Honorary Councilperson Howard?
Yes? No? Good girl.
Councilperson Pokolsky? Yes. Councilperson Gifford? Yes. Councilperson Gullo?
Motion passes.
Good job, guys.
Number 2,
Request from Buffalo United Front Incorporated to use a portion of Memorial Park for a free family fun day on June 24th from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m.
any discussion, council? And this does include the 4 of you as well. Seeing none, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the first, Councilman Bamanto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Washington?
Aye.
Councilperson Howard? Councilperson Pokolsky? Councilperson Gifford? Councilperson Gullo?
Motion passes.
Request from Shannon Ciciotti on behalf of Fredonia Central School to have their fifth grade student do a beach cleanup, rocks and mineral exploration, a social studies scavenger hunt, and an outdoor art English language arts project on June 8th from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m.
8 a.m. or 9 a.m.?
I'm sorry, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion, council? Councilman Civiletto?
I do have to ask the new council people, is it okay if Fredonia State student, or Fredonia students come into Dunkirk? Is it gonna be, I just want to make sure it's going to be okay with you. It hurts me a little bit, but I'm probably going to vote yes, so we'll go.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. Councilman Civiletto with the first. Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Voisin.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pukowski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Motion passes.
Request from the Kosciuszko Club to have Nevin Street closed to traffic between East Doty Street and Courtney Street on Friday, July 6th and Saturday, July 7th for the annual street dance from 5 p.m. until 11 a.m. Also asking for support of the City Parks Department for use of picnic tables and bandstands, the Streets Department for barricades, and the Police Department for patrolling in the area.
Just for clarification purposes, he meant to say 12 a.m., otherwise that would be an all-night party. Any discussion, council? Motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approved, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. Councilman Bamanto with the first.
Second.
Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Voisin.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pukowski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Motion passes.
Request from Dunkirk Lakeside Club to close Plover Street between Lakeshore Drive West and West 2nd Street on July 21st through July 22nd between the hours of 12 noon and 12 midnight. The Lakeside would be celebrating a 100-year jubilee. We also are requesting support from the Dunkirk Police Department for patrolling in the area, Parks Department for picnic tables, and the Streets Department for use of barricades.
Any discussion, council? I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approved, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Voisin.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pukowski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Motion passes.
Request from Northern Chautauqua Soccer Association to use the city park at North Van Golden Street approximately 3 evenings per week, 6 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. through October.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approved, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. Councilman Bamanto with the first.
Second.
Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Voisin.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pukowski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Request passes. Number 7.
Request from Charlotte M. Herlong for a resolution to have no amplification in Washington Park unless it is for government business, city, county, or state.
Since no action can be taken on this evening, as this is a request that will have to be researched and debated, this will be received and filed at this time. Number 8.
Notice of claim from Jonathan Roy for alleged damages to his vehicle after hitting several potholes.
A motion to refer this to the law department.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Voisin.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pukowski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Motion passes. We have 3 loudspeaker claims before us this evening. Letter C, the third one, will be pulled for further information, so that will not be part of the voting process this evening. The voting process will encompass loudspeaker A and loudspeaker B. I will have the city clerk read them off individually. However, we are going to group them together since there were no questions or concerns during the workshop and vote on them as one. So, clerk?
Kosciuszko Club to use microphone, amplifier, and speakers on July 6th and 7th. Dunkirk Lakeside Club to use amplifier, speakers, and band equipment on July 20th, 21st, and 22nd from 12 p.m. till 11:30 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pokolsky. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gullo.
Motion passes. We do have a walk-in communication this evening. For those of you who do have a packet in front of you, it pertains to the Special Olympics. So, clerk, if you could please read.
Dear Chief Ortolano, Mayor Rosas, and the members of the Common Council, on Wednesday, May 30th, Special Olympics New York and the Law Enforcement Torch Run would like to carry the flame of hope throughout the Dunkirk community. Just like past years, the Flame of Hope would run from Dunkirk High School down 6th Street to Central Avenue, ending at the local track and field meet in SUNY, Fredonia. The torch would start the journey around 11 a.m. We are asking for permission to use the streets. The run will be over by 9:30 a.m. and the streets will not need to be shut down. We welcome all members of the community to get involved in this event. Special Olympics athletes and law enforcement officers will be involved in this event. The run paces at about a 10-minute mile.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I will need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. Councilman Bamanto with the first.
Second.
Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Voisin.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pokolsky.
Aye.
Councilperson Gifford.
Aye.
Councilperson Gullo.
Motion passes. The next section of our meeting is called Reports of Standing Committees, Boards, and Commissions. During this portion of our meeting, all council people have an opportunity to speak about anything that's on the agenda, anything to do with city business. They have the opportunity to ask questions to the department heads. If they have any questions for the department heads, that's everybody that's sitting to your right. So just to give the four of you a heads up, if you think of something in the meantime before we finish and before it comes your turn, you're more than welcome to ask questions or speak about any of those things I mentioned. As of right now, Councilman Williams, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. This is probably for Chief Ortolano. What's the process of trying to look at different traffic lights? I received a call from one of the First Ward residents asking about the traffic light at 2nd and Roberts and wondering if there was a need for it. They said that they sat there for like 5 minutes and it changes every 30 seconds and wondered if there was a need. So I said I'd bring it up at the meeting to see where we go from there. Maybe it will go to Mike's committee and.
We'd have to do a traffic study, Randy, and I would look at it, but that's a truck route, so removing any type of a traffic light could cause a liability issue. I can, we can have maybe Mike permission look at the loops and make sure they're cycling properly to see if there's something wrong with them.
Is there a sensor on that one that you know of or anything, or?
That I don't know, Randy. Are those on the ground sensor?
They should be, but we, as the chief said, we'll check them to make sure it's working.
We'll have them check the loops and make sure they're cycling properly.
All right, and then part of that, he had other questions on top of that, was if there ends up being a traffic light up at Telkit eventually when the cold storage warehouse is built, will that make the one at 2nd and Roberts then not needed, or would you still need that, or it still falls under the same thing that you just described?
We still have to do a traffic study and look at it to see if there's a need.
Okay. Other than that, I just have to announce that on Wednesday, May 23rd at 4 o'clock in the Mayor's Conference Room, we'll be having our DPW committee meeting, and on Thursday, May 24th on WDOE, the council will be on viewpoints. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. Councilman Bamanto, the floor is yours.
Just one announcement, the co-ed softball, adult co-ed softball league starts next Tuesday. We have 10 teams this year, and a fast pitch league will be starting first week in June. Randy, one question, what's the latest on Howard Avenue?
Sure. Have some good news. Wednesday and Friday of last week, we had a multi-story crane lift 12 15-ton sections of the new Howard Avenue culvert into place, 14 feet wide, 9 feet deep. And then after they were placed and connected together, myself and one of the 3 mayors carefully inspected the installation, and we approved. So it's going well.
Thank you. And I'd like to congratulate all the students for coming out and being here with us. And if you have any questions, please ask. That's all I got.
Thank you, Councilman Bamonto. Councilman Heenan?
Nothing from me, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Civiletto?
Just wanted to talk about what we discussed at the Public Safety Committee last week. There was, we did have a review of fire pits in the city. Basically, I brought up the question about fire pits mostly because I had concerns from constituents. It wasn't something that I just brought up because I thought I'd bring it up. I had a couple of calls concerning smoke in people's in their neighborhoods and wanted to prevent it for this year. So I brought it up to Chief Ortolano and Chief Edwards. And right now I'm going to pull the amendment or the resolution that's on the agenda today, which is coded 57. We're going to review it and really talk about it more with more citizens and amongst ourselves with the councilman and with the chief and the law department, and really get it really knocked down before we decide to do anything with it as it stands right now. Another thing is, and I'm going to have Chief Ortolano talk about, now that the weather is getting warmer, people are rolling down their windows and their car speakers are louder than they should be. So I'm just going to have Chief Ortolano talk about what he's doing to prevent them from being an annoyance to neighborhoods.
As we discussed at the public safety meeting, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's annoying and I don't like it. So, and I know the citizens don't like it. It's that time of the year. I had a talk with our command staff about it at a meeting last week and also put a memo out to the patrols that it's time to start looking at that and enforcing it and shutting it down because it's annoying, and I agree with you.
Great. And I'd like to also congratulate all the student councilmen and the student mayors. And if I could, when we go through, you guys should really, because last year nobody really said anything, I'd like each of you, if I could make a request as a council person to another council person, just what your main idea was of your essay, and then just so everybody knows what exactly got you here. After that, I have nothing.
Thank you, Councilman Civiletto. The only thing I have to add at this point is there's a Finance Committee meeting 4 p.m. on Thursday in the Mayor's Conference Room. At this time, I will continue on our reports of standing boards and committees with each of our honorary members. Mr. Civiletto was wondering if you could at least tell what the topic of your essay was. If you are so willing to share that with us, it would be nice. If there's something else that comes along with city business or city questions or concerns that you have, you can share those with us at this time as well. This is the time to do it. So, Councilwoman Caitlin Howard, the floor is yours to say whatever you wish.
Nothing at this time.
Is that a pass? You pass? Okay. That was so cute. Councilman Nathan Pekulski, the floor is yours.
I think I'll pass.
Okay. Councilman Joe Gifford, do you have anything you'd like to share with us?
You had to write about something. Come on.
Yeah, 12 months ago.
He's thinking of it.
I'm thinking. I'm gonna pass.
Pass. Councilman Fred Gullo.
Well, I focused my essay on student resource officers in every school in the area. And other than that, not much.
You just gave the mayor an instantaneous headache.
You should see how my teachers feel about that.
Any other questions or concerns, Mr. Gullo? No?
I'm good.
I think Mr. Gifford has changed his mind a little bit.
What I wrote in my essay was about getting like the stores from like Buffalo or like farther out away from Dunkirk, like around in Dunkirk or around there, so nobody has to go all the way out, like to go to certain stores, like stores like Target or just like if we have like another mall here, that would be interesting.
Good idea.
If you can get a Target to come here, you may be able to run for mayor when you turn 18 right away. Too.
That was an example. There's other stores I can come in.
No offense, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to go off, since we're a little bit all over the place today, I'm actually going to go off grid a little bit here and ask if our two honorary mayors have anything that they would like to share at this time during reports of committees, boards, and commissions. Mr. Patterson, do you have anything you'd like to share with us today?
Is this thing on? Okay.
Yes, it is.
My essay was mostly about filling in the empty spaces around Dunkirk and turning it to more of, hotspot, like with commercial areas and stores that we don't really have around here, and adding more houses so more people can live here, and really just making it bigger and better.
Gotcha. Very good. And last but not least, Amaste Cedeno. Anything you'd like to share with us today? Questions or concerns?
Yeah, my essay was mainly about welcoming all the new families, because a lot of families come from Puerto Rico and they're mainly all Hispanic. I wanted my essay to be about to get you guys the idea that we should welcome them more so they can feel like they can live here and this is a special place.
Thank you. If we could just give our 6 honorary people a small round of applause for sharing that with us. Hopefully we can get the 6 of them to stick around in the future and see brighter and bigger days because of their efforts. Thank you, folks. Moving right along, number 8, unfinished business, number 47.
Proposed local law and referendum to change terms of local council members from 2 years to 4 years.
I need a motion to take this off the table.
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the first. I need a second.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto, clerk call the roll to take this off the table.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Washington.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard.
Oh.
Councilperson Pukowski.
Aye.
Councilperson Gifford.
Aye.
Councilperson Gullo.
Motion passes. You're gonna have to wait. This is a little bit of a controversial topic right now, so the 4 of you are going to be really confused in about 30 seconds as to what to say or what to do. So I'm actually going to bang the gavel on purpose before their 4 votes to avoid any confusion. We will be voting on, or is there any discussion? Let me start with that. Is there any discussion on number 47? Councilman Williams.
Yeah, I just want to say out here to everybody that this resolution isn't something that if we voted in today or pass it today, that it's going to go into law. If passed today, this goes out to the voters of the city of Dunkirk to decide whether a council term would be 2 years or 4 years. I'm fine with either way. I don't really know how I feel if this passes and goes to the polls on how I'm going to vote for it. But what I do know is I believe in the democratic process, and I believe that we need to send it out to the voters to decide and live with whatever the voters decide. I've gotten calls on both sides of this, and for the people that are against it, if it passes, you'll have your say when you go vote on the general election this year. And for those that are for it, I voted to send it to referendum, and if you get out to vote, then you vote for it. Again, this is just the council saying that we will entrust the residents of the city of Dunkirk to decide the fate, whether it goes 2 years or 4 years. This isn't anything that, if anybody votes yes or no today, is putting it into law today. So I just wanted to remind that.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any further discussion? Sure, go ahead. I'll give you a shot.
Even though it's already been passed and may become law that you have 4 years, make sure you realize 4 years is a long time before you vote on this.
2 years is a long time.
Son, we know.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
6 months is a long time.
I like your chutzpah. Very good. Councilman Civiletto?
And yes, I agree with Mayor Patterson. 4 months is a long time. It's been 5 months. So yes, we realize that. But I also agree with Councilman Williams that I've gotten calls both ways. Actually, I haven't really gotten any calls. I've asked people, and people have some have said, yeah, it's a good idea to go 4. Some say keep it at 2. A lot of people are like, I don't know. So because of that, I'm going to let the citizens of Dunkirk decide, and I'm going to vote yes to bring it up to a referendum and let them decide what they want to do.
Thank you, Councilman Civiletto. Any further discussion, council? Councilman Heenan?
Yeah, I agree with what the two gentlemen have said, but doing this for 2 years and 4 years, we're in a position best to know, I think at this time, what we're comfortable with. So I'm going to vote what I'm comfortable with, although I do respect these two gentlemen's words they had.
Thank you, Councilman Heenan. Councilman Bamanto?
Also, like Councilman Heenan says, I've been getting a lot of phone calls, and I've heard nothing good about the 4 years from what I'm getting, so I'm going to go with what the people that call me and put me in here, vote for me in here to go with that. I'm not going to vote for the 4 years, but I understand where both the councilmen are coming from.
Thank you, Councilman Bamanto. And for the 4 individuals sitting in front of us, if you're keeping a tally board by what they say, that means their vote is 2-2. That's why I'm going to bang the gavel early. Or you could be sitting in my seat and have the pressure of being the deciding vote. So I personally, I had some literature ready for this conversation 2 weeks ago. I wasn't prepared for it to be taken off the table today, so I don't have the literature with me. The Observer previously wrote an article in the editorial saying that this motion itself is very selfish of us as council people, that we're looking out for ourselves, and I wholeheartedly disagree with that, to the point where it's not up to us. We're giving that option to you guys, so you guys decide if it's 2 years or 4 years. So it's anything but being selfish, since the public is the one that votes on it. We could vote 5-0 to want it, and you guys could vote it down, therefore it's voted down. Me personally, I don't necessarily agree with going to 4 years, and one of my biggest reasons is because if we get certain council people in office that aren't good council people, we're stuck with them for 4 years. However, if we get good council people in office, and you might say that, well, geez, we're only here for 2 years. Well, if they're good, chances are they're going to be here another 2 years after the first 2 years anyway. So it's really no harm in that respect. So me personally, I am against going to 4 years. However, in the faith of the democratic process, like was explained by all this evening, I have no problem leaving that up to the public. I am just one opinion. It's your guys' vote, it's your guys' city, it's your guys' choice on whether or not you want it to be 2 years or 4 years. So even though I am personally against it, I am going to vote for it to go to public vote. So you guys have the say. With that said, please keep in mind, that's all we are doing here, like Mr. Williams said. This vote is not a vote for it. This vote is not a vote against it. This vote only allows you, the general public, to vote on it yourselves. That's all we're doing. That's it. Further discussion, Mr. Heenan?
Yeah, Andy, I just wanted to add also, there's a lot of two-year terms. The New York State Senate is 2 years, the Assembly is 2 years, the county legislature is 2 years. The U.S. House of Representatives is 2 years, the U.S. Senate is 6 years, and then they swap every 2 years, they come up for vote. Governor's 4 years. There's a reason. There's a reason that it is 2 years, and that's so people have a choice every 2 years, and it doesn't become a job or a lifelong occupation for somebody. It gives other people the opportunity to run every 2 years. I understand the length of a longer term, be it mayor or the governor, where the wheels grind a little bit slower and they have an administration and to move things forward, and I understand that part. And that is the other part of my decision of why I will be voting no.
Thank you, Mr. Heenan. Any further discussion? Clerk, may you call the roll?
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
No.
Councilmember Heenan.
No.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vowaschen.
Aye. Motion passes. If you'd like to continue.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pokulski.
Aye.
Councilperson Gifford.
Aye.
Councilperson Gullo.
Very good.
Excellent.
The stress is over.
You guys did good. You did good.
Can't take it personally, guys. Remember that.
You're almost done.
Number 9, pre-filed resolutions.
Authorizing lease to purchase one vehicle for police department through state contract PC 67571.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vowaschen.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pokulski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Motion passes. Number 53.
Authorizing mayor to execute license agreement for operation of Wright Park refreshment stand.
Any discussion, council? Mr. Romano, were you raising your hand?
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vowaschen.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pokulski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Motion passes. Number 54.
Authorization for city to execute water supply line easement with Athenix.
Any discussion, council? Mr. Woodbury, can you comment on this, just so everybody knows what this means?
Certainly. We're all in favor of this project and happy to have it in our area and happy to serve it water and sewer. And the Phoenix will build this themselves, but they need to pass through city property to do it. Of course, I can talk about how good our water quality is if you want me to, but you probably heard that before. And so I'm glad that we have excellent water quality, and it was one of the reasons that Phoenix chose our location to be there. So happy to answer your question, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Woodbury. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vowaschen.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pokulski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gallo.
Motion passes. Number 55.
Authorizing grant application, Western New York Downtown Revitalization Initiative, Round 3.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vowaschen.
Aye.
Councilperson Howard. Councilperson Pokulski. Councilperson Gifford. Councilperson Gullo.
Motion passes. Number 56.
Authorizing summer hours for City Hall employees. An amendment?
Oh, yes. There is an amendment to this. I will announce the amendment, then we will have to vote on the amendment. to see if that passes, and then once that passes, if it does, then we have to vote on the resolution as amended. The amendment is, in the fourth whereas, it should state, whereas such changes in the work schedule are subject to department head, and this is a new insert, staffing, I can't even read my own writing, staffing and rotating shifts as needed for offices staying open until 5, scratch the word approval, and subject to review by union representatives for the respective bargaining units affected by any change in work schedule. Now, therefore, be it. That is the amendment. Clerk, please call the roll on the amendment.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Aye. Ooh, sorry.
Councilperson Howard? Councilperson Pakulski? Councilperson Gifford?
Aye.
Councilperson Gallo?
The amendment passes. Now we need to vote on the resolution as amended. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Aye.
Councilperson Howard? Councilperson Pakulski? Councilperson Gifford? Councilperson Gallo?
Motion passes as amended. As requested by Councilman Civiletto, pre-file resolution number 57 has been pulled for the evening. Moving on to number 10, new business. Anybody with any walk-ins? Moving right along to number 11, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Say motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Williams. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Howard? Councilperson Pakulski? Councilperson Gifford? Councilperson Gallo? Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Meeting is adjourned. Have a great day, everybody.
Want to take pictures?